Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, all members are present. Approval of the agenda. We have one addition under new business. Board openings for the PUC and Planning Commission. Is there any other changes or corrections to the agenda?
Motion to approve with changes.
We have a motion to approve with that change by Dave. Do we have a second? Heidi seconded it. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the April 15th, 2019 Board of Review and Equalization and April 17th, 2019 regular meeting. I'll receive them in your packet. Is there any changes, corrections, clarification? I have one on the April 17th, 2019 regular meeting, and under action items, it needs to be stated that Member Thomas was absent. That would be the only thing that I see. Anyone else have any changes? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the April 15th, 2019 Board of Review and Equalization meeting and the April 17th, 2019 regular meeting minutes with that change?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. This now brings us to our public open forum. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Okay, if you want to speak to the council, come up to the mic, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Well, hi, thank you for having me. My name is Kelly Lemke. Did you say my address too?
You don't need to.
Oh, okay, sorry. Some of you may recognize me. I was an assessor for Stearns County. And now I opened my own business, and I am here to speak to you on behalf of my business called Lemke Local Appraisals. I do assessment work for cities and townships. I am the the Township of Sauk Center's local appraiser right now. I work as a contractor for them. I have a certified Minnesota assessor's license. I am qualified to do all property types in Minnesota: commercial, residential, seasonal, industrial, rural vacant, and apartments. I came to talk to you tonight because I would like the opportunity to bid the city of Sauk Center. What I've provided for you is my A business card, and the first sheet is just a breakdown of the properties that are in the city right now. This would be what my standard contract looks like. The second page is the things I provide, everything like that. I worked for Stearns County for 9 years, and it was a good fit at the time. But then I got a little bored and went out and started. I work for a software company that writes CAMA, computer-aided mass appraisal software. And in order to do that job, I also need to do this job because I need to stay current with legislative changes and all the assessment that changes frequently. And I live in Long Prairie. I am an entrepreneur, and it's just a good fit for me because I'm familiar with the local market. I already work for the township. I work with all the realtors locally I feel like I might have a little bit better handle on Sauk Center than maybe somebody based out of the St. Cloud office. I'm readily available for the township. I provide all kinds of things. They're vacating a road and they wanted some information about stuff like that, so they call me and I provide packets of information. I attend any meeting they ask me to. The way I do my contracts is it is a one-time flat fee. If we sign a contract, there will be no increases for the term of that contract. You don't pay me for mileage or anything. You can ask me to be here for every meeting. You can ask me to be here for only meetings that pertain to assessment. I will attend as many or as few meetings as what you see fit. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess that's just why I'm here, and I'm hoping that you give me the opportunity to bid and work for your city.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think, just for information, I think we're on a year-by-year contract right now with the county. It was a 5-year contract that is expired now, so it'd be up to the council. I would think if she's willing to give us a proposal, we'd at least look at it.
Sure.
Okay, if that's fine with you, just give us a proposal.
Sure.
And we'll definitely look at it, because then we have to look at what the county's doing along with what your proposal is.
That sounds great. Oh, I should mention too, I don't need to take any more of your time, but I do carry my own insurance, and I carry own insurance, errors and emissions. Upon signing a contract, I will gladly provide all my licensure and all of my insurance policies, and so you can have those on record as well.
Okay.
Would you like me to submit my proposal to Vicki then, or?
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time.
thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the council?
My name is Pat Oppen. I'm a new homeowner in town, but I have a issue with one of your business's website. We got a new phone number, and this website has this phone number, and it's a bar in town. So we've been getting phone calls constantly for the last 6 months. I've been over at his place 3 times. I've never got to talk to him personally, but they know who I am when I walk in now. So since November, I've been in there November, December, and then had surgery, so March. I talked to Wendy here in December, and she tried to call him, and I think she actually talked to him. I talked to Vicki a couple days ago, and she tried to talk to him unless he returned a phone call. He's never returned a phone call. To the issue, so my question, I'm asking for the council because I know a liquor license are due. If there's a requirement or something verbiage that could be entered into his liquor license saying that update his website before he gets the license. But Vicky's warned me that that might not be possible, but I also see on here he's got a temporary extension outdoor permit for downtown bars for St. Clair Louis Days. I'm assuming he can write something on that. That's a special license. I'm just looking for help. So supposedly his mother created the website, that he's never owned that number. I've been on the phone all day today with 3 different carriers, and trying to find out who owns the number is very, very difficult. I can't do it. I might have to go to the police station next to find out why he has that number. And that number's been vacated for 2 years, so I don't know where the phone calls went prior to that. So that's
Okay.
my issue. Looking for help.
Okay.
Now, I mentioned this to Vicki, if this is just a phone number issue, and if you can't solve it, if there was another issue on the website, where do I go? Or where does the city go when it's related to the city? Who do you talk to? City attorney?
If it was a city issue, I would think that we
Well,
would.
it's, if anybody puts something on their website that is not correct, that pertains to the city, it pertains to anybody. But since this is a phone number that has never been his, that is, and he won't change it because he said he lost the password. No, that's a minor issue, I don't think. I think that's, so. I'm not gonna let this go. I can get a new phone number. There is no guarantee that that phone number is gonna be any better. I had talked to three suppliers today, and they said, no, that there are no new phone numbers. They're all just rolled over. So I have the same issue with my cell phone that I've had for 3 years, I still get phone calls from the prior owner. But this one here can be controlled. The phone companies can't do anything on a website.
Right.
So,
Okay,
all right?
all right. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. I know that when I first moved here to town, I had this similar problem. My home phone number is only 1 digit off from a local bar, and I used to get drunks calling my house at 2, 3 in the morning.
Well, this is it. It's on his website.
Yeah.
If you go to contact
Yep.
information.
Yeah. With me, they went out of business, so
I think
it's a
it's-
mute issue.
This number was put on his website when he took over the bar.
Oh, wow.
It's on the bar.
Okay.
So, I don't know people around here, so I don't know if the mother is related, because I know who the previous owner is.
Mhm.
Because I get phone calls from them now because of another issue.
Okay,
So I know who the previous owner was.
thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council? Call a third time. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council? Our public meeting is, our public open forum is now.
This is related to the city. Since I do here, I drive some of the streets, and some of the stop signs are completely covered, especially two that I keep running into. One is on 4th Street in Ash heading east. There's a tree that's, right now you can barely see it, and when it's in full leaf, you can't see the stop sign at all. And the other one, I forget the name of the street, but it's, I live on Country Oak, is the street just before that, going to the north. If you're coming from the north going south, there's an evergreen, there's 3 evergreens that cover the stop line until you're within about 50 feet before you even see it. Just trying to let you guys know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll check into it. Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the council? Our public open forum is now closed. We have no public hearings. Will take us to reports and presentations, the financial statement presentation. Mary?
Thank you for having me tonight. So I dropped off in front of everybody a bound audit report. That's for some good nighttime reading, if you would like. And then the other document in front of you is the PowerPoint. So we met ahead of time with the Finance Committee and went through the PowerPoint and good discussions there. So if you want to open up the PowerPoint, we can go right to page 8, because all of the other items were discussed in that meeting. And so we'll go right to the financial results for the city. Okay, so the PowerPoint just gives you a little bit more information, comparison, prior year, comparisons and things like that. But they all come from the financial statement. So if you wanted to, you could tick and tie those back and forth. But feel free to stop me if you have any questions at any time on the information presented. So page 8 is the cash and investment balances. So far left is the general fund. You can see it went up from 1.4 last year to about 1.7 this year. Then all of your other governmental funds we combined. You're at 9.2 this year, up from 7.9 last year. And a lot of that has to do with the capital project debt money that was issued during the year but not spent as of the end of the year. Okay. So page 9 gives the fund balances for the year, same categories. Far left is general fund. And general fund increased from 1.9 million to 2.1. And then all other governmental funds increased 8.6 to 11.1 million this year. So you have about 5 months of expenditures in unassigned fund balance in the general fund. So general fund unassigned fund balance is 1.1, and the general fund expenditures are 3 million. So the state recommends about 5 to 6 months of fund balance just because the city doesn't get taxes until May, June timeframe. And so you need enough on hand to make your day-to-day operations.
Okay.
So page 10 gives a bar chart of the total governmental revenues that come into the city. Just a good comparison, you can see we start from 2014 on the far right, and then 2018 is on the far left. Okay. A couple significant items there. Intergovernmental revenues went really high in 2017. That was the airport money. And this year it went back down to more normal funding. And then far right is your other revenues. So this year the PUC paid about $1 million to the project that the city took on. So it actually flowed through the city. The city made the payments and then the PUC reimbursement. So that's the Public Utilities Company. Okay. And you'll see that increase in capital outlay as well when we get to the expenditures. So page 11 is the governmental fund revenues just in a different chart. So this tells you the percentage of each of those categories that do come in. Far left is 2018, far right is 2017. And you can just see that the pie chart shifts between intergovernmental and other revenue from current year to prior year. And all the other categories are fairly similar. So page 12, where do those revenues go out the door? 12 is your expenditures. So fairly consistent. Far right is your capital outlay, like I talked about. That increased because of the public utilities portion, and so that was reimbursed. A lot of that has to do with the 2018 North End project as well. So page 13, then the percentages spent on each of those categories. Far left again is 2018 and right is 2017. So a little bit of shifting between capital outlay, and then public safety went up a little bit from last year as well. So page 14, the state requires financial statements and a reporting form to be submitted before June 30th, 2019. The financial statements are issued, and that shouldn't be an issue. The city issued the general obligation improvement bonds, about 3.3 million. And then unspent bond proceeds totaled about 1.6. So right now that's sitting in cash and will be expended this year then to wrap up those projects. And then along with that, there were special assessments assessed to pay off those bonds. So right now you have a special assessment receivable sitting on the books for those collections. So the Hospital Special Revenue Fund received just over $300,000 of interest from the working capital loan that is currently still out there. Page 15. The tax increment financing fund had land held for resale value at $920,000, and then a new tax increment district was created in 2018, District 1-12. So capital projects funds had the capital outlay of 2.8, and $1 million of that was reimbursed from the Public Utility Commission. The airport runway and entrance road, the Getty Street, Kate's Estate, and 2018 improvements, all of those were capital outlay related this year. Financial stability, general fund experienced a 9% increase in fund balance, so it went up by $177,000. And actually, the city budgeted for a loss of $290,000, So he actually came out better, $468,000 than expected. And the debt service fund is making the payments in accordance with the debt schedules, and the revenues coming in there is enough to pay for those items.
Anyone have any questions? Comments?
No surprises, which is what we like. I'm sure you do too, so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. 6B, EDA report.
So the EDA met today in, excuse me, in regular session. They just had a couple items on their agenda, which we covered. The first one was, we talked about the railroad property townhomes, and it's just kind of an update on where they're at. We still are waiting for the declaration and covenants to come in, and then we should be able to get that amended preliminary plat and final plat in front of the Planning Commission, and then back in front of the City Council. The second one was we'd had a counter offer on the Kate's Estates property proposal that they are working with a developer who wants to put 6 units up there on that long, narrow lot that we're using for staging for our construction project. So it's between Main Street and Kate's Estates. They did provide a counter offer, but it's not ready to bring forward yet because we're still working on some numbers. So after the next EDA meeting, we'll be able to come to the City Council for that. And the third one is the Main Streeter Apartments Options Agreement, where they are requesting to exercise their option, and that is an action item later on this evening, but to exercise their option to purchase the additional property for townhomes or another apartment building. So that's it, just 3 items for the EDA tonight, and 1 will be an action item.
Questions? Concerns? Okay, we'll move on to action items. 7A, accept financial report.
That's just what it is. It's subsequent to the presentation of the audited financial statements, and we're looking to accept the final 2018 audited financial statements.
Comments? Questions? Otherwise, I'll be looking for a motion to accept the final 2018 audited financial statements.
Motion to accept.
Motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Appoint seasonal public works employee.
Ben Klink and Nikki Vogt conducted interviews for the Public Works Seasonal Employment open position. They are recommending that Jacob Borgerding be appointed to the position effective May 20th, 2019. He will begin at step 1 of the seasonal pay scale. And then we also have Dennis Christensen, who will be returning for summer seasonal. And so we have 1 college student and 1 retired person. So that will be our 2 summer seasonal people at the Public Works Department. So we're requesting to approve the seasonal appointment as presented.
Questions? Comments? Do I have a motion to approve the seasonal employment as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7C, accept resignation EMT.
Brianna Senst has submitted her resignation from the Sauk Center Ambulance Department effective immediately, and so we're asking tonight to accept the resignation of Brianna Senst.
Do I have a motion to accept the resignation?
Motion to accept.
Motion by Dave, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7D, approved classification of tax forfeited property.
Stearns County has requested to sell Lot 11, Block 13 of Robbins and Mendenhall's addition to Sauk Center. This is located at 625 Getty Street. For those of you that were here a few years ago, we previously condemned that property and we did remove the structures. The proposed sale price is a beginning bid of $2,000. The special assessments for the 4th and Getty Street project are in 2012 are outstanding. The principal outstanding is $3,756.37. In addition, there's outstanding lot maintenance costs of $806.89 because we've been mowing it, and also the hazardous cleanup costs for the demo of the building of $8,947.38. So those two last amounts were paid by the city in prior years through the general fund. So of the above, the Getty Street is outstanding to be paid by the city as part of the improvement bond, so we do have debt tied to that Fourth and Getty assessment, that $3,700 bid. So we have two items. We want to determine if we want to purchase it or offer it for sale. If we want to purchase it, we can do so for the $2,000. And of course, then we would not recoup any of the assessments, or we will allow it to go on the tax forfeit auction. The second item, we need to determine which, if any, of the assessments should be recertified. We are recommending at a minimum that we recertify the assessment for the street project because it is tied to the outstanding bond, which is $37,5637. So it's kind of a two-part request. Do we want to allow them to be sold? And if so, how much are we going to request to be recertified for collection of special assessments?
What's the council's wishes?
Well, I don't think there's any reason for us to keep it.
Right.
Right.
Basically, we're not in the business of flipping land,
Nope.
so, and it wouldn't do any good as far as the tax base when it comes for us to own it anyway.
Nope.
On the second part, what is the council's wishes? Recertify for collection, what amount?
I don't see why not the full amount. 37,5637.
Okay,
I agree with that.
We've written off the 8,000. Well, we've paid it, is what you're saying, or the almost 9,000.
Right, that's all been paid by the city, and it's basically been written off the books in prior years, and now we can recertify it as a new assessment if we choose to do that. So if you want to collect for some of that prior written off amount, we can do that, either the full amount or any amount in between, and then plus we've got the certification for the street project.
We've had a few lots out there, though, that have had assessments sitting on them that kind of remain unsaleable for lesser amounts, correct?
We have had in the past. Right now, we don't. We have all of them have now been sold
They
finally.
have, okay.
But yeah, that does happen. If we leave too much on there, then they don't sell, and then they just sit there. So if your goal is to get them sold and something built on them, then the more attractive we make that to a buyer, I think the quicker that can happen.
the hazardous cleanup, basically, we removed blighted also to the benefit of the city. So I can see us actually
Could see us-
keeping those
yeah.
costs, not passing those along. If it goes to sale and it isn't sold, and does the county have to maintain that lot then, or is that, we gonna start accruing costs on mowing and,
We've been accruing the costs on, because it is in the state's name or the county's name right now, and they don't come out and do it, so we have to do it, basically.
Okay.
And we don't, and they won't pay for that during the period, and that's why it's accumulating, is because we just are keeping track. We bill them, so it gets in the books, but yet they don't have to pay it
until it's sold?
until it's sold. Until it's sold, then we can, that puts it on the books, so we have a basis for recertification if we choose to do that.
Okay, so the maintenance cost that we got right now is being billed to the county
It's being built, it's actually state of Minnesota.
or state of Minnesota. Okay, what's the council's wishes?
Have we done has anybody approached the abutting property owners at all if they're interested?
What happens is if this gets sold, then the county automatically contacts them first.
Okay, so otherwise.
Because you have the option to, kind of like first dibs, or like we
Right.
have first dibs. And then the abutting property owners have second dibs, I guess you would call it. And then it goes for auction.
Because this is a non-conforming lot as
Yeah.
far as a buildable lot, right?
It
for a house.
meets our statute for, it was conforming at the time of plating in the 1800s.
Right,
So if you can build on it, it's 50 feet wide, but it is 166 feet deep. So you could put a small structure on it and still meet the zoning based on that pre-existing condition.
okay. Well, on those 2 points, do I have a motion from the council as far as the wishes?
I would make the motion to not purchase the property, but to recertify collection of $3,756.37.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second by Dave. Everyone understand the motion? Okay. Any other comments? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approve Resolution 2019-25 awarding bid for crack filling.
So pursuant to your prior approval by resolution, we obtained quotes for the city's 2019 crack filling project. Crack filling to include all roads in the industrial park and all roads east of the Sauk River out in the Morning View Country Club, East River Heights area. So that's the 2 groups of roads that we're planning to do. We received 3 bids, Midwest Asphalt and Maintenance at $8,700, Aztec at $11,500, and Northwest Asphalt and Maintenance at $15,000. So we had quite a range. And so we are looking to approve Resolution 2019-25, approving the crack filling contract with Midwest Asphalt Maintenance LLC for $8,700.
Comments? Questions? We've had Midwest Asphalt do work for us before, haven't we?
We have, and they're the company out of Belgrade. We've used them before under a prior name.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2019-25 approving crack filling contract with Midwest Asphalt Maintenance LLC?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Diane, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Any other comments, questions? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approve Resolution 2019-26 awarding bid for mill and overlay.
So again, by council resolution, we sought quotes for the 2019 reclamation and overlay project, which includes 4th Street North. It includes Birch Street between St. Paul's Church and Holy Family School, and in the splash pad parking lot. And we did bid it out in 3 parts. And we did have bids. We had 8 bids that came in, and they ranged all the way from $101,949 up to $175,892. So a really big range of bids. The low bid was Central Specialties, and actually the low 3 bids were all within a few $1,000s of each other. And what's interesting is that the low bid had $55 a ton for the asphalt, and the high bid was $91 a ton. So the big variance is all in the cost per ton of the asphalt. And so we have worked with Central Specialties in the past, and we did check all the math, and we are recommending to approve Resolution 2019-26, accepting the bid and authorizing the execution of contract for the reclamation project to Central Specialties.
Questions? Comments? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2019-26?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7G, approve Resolution 2019-27, entering into a M&O contract with MnDOT Aeronautics.
So as part of MnDOT Aeronautics' participation in the maintenance of our municipal airport, we're eligible for grant funds where they reimburse the city for costs associated with airport maintenance. So I did attach the grant agreement, which would be an agreement between MnDOT and the city that once approved would qualify us for reimbursement of 75% of our costs of maintaining the airport, of up to $23,983 per year. It's $23,983. We get 75% of that, so like $19,000 and some change. This is Resolution 2019-27, authorizing the execution of the grant agreement. And this would be effective from July 1st, 2019, and it goes to June 30th, 2021, because their fiscal year is different than ours. And we've done this every year for many years. It's just a way for that the state of Minnesota or MnDOT to help defray the costs of operations of the airport. So we're looking for Resolution 2019-27, authorizing the execution of the grant agreement.
Comments? Questions? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2019-27?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approve resolution 2019-28, authorizing execution of option agreement.
Sauk Center Multifamily LLC, that's the Main Streeter Apartments. They proposed to exercise its option to purchase Lot 2, Block 1 of W.H. Cates Estates, first edition. The purchase option was for $1. The assessments for the property were included in the abatement contract for the original development of the apartment building, so there are no outstanding assessments on this property. The development would include, at the time I did the packet, was 24 townhomes would occur following in addition to the existing apartment complex, which is scheduled for the spring of 2020. So first we have the 18 units that are going to be added to the initial complex, and then they would begin the development of this next one. I did receive from Pemberton Law the actual option agreement, which says pursuant to our discussion, this letter serves as my client, Sauk Center Multifamily LLC's notice of election to purchase Lot 2, W.H. Cates Estates, First Edition, City of Sauk Center, Stearns County, Minnesota, pursuant to that certain vacant land purchase and option agreement dated January 27, 2017, as amended by and between the city and their client for the sum of $1. He says, my client intends to construct a 24-unit market-rate apartment complex similar to what my client has constructed on Lot 3, W.H. Cates Estates, First Edition. Please contact me at your convenience so we can arrange an acceptable date for closing. So the EDA met today, and they are recommending that we proceed with the option agreement because that's what we had in our original purchase agreement. The only question that we do want to clarify is they had sent to us a rendering of a townhome type development, like a row type townhome thing, and this agreement says a 24-unit market rate apartment complex similar to what they've already built, and I need to get that clarification from them. Our preference would be the townhome style because it kind of bridges as we go further and further from the lake, the density. The density won't be different, but the style of the building. And I put a call into him after the EDA meeting, and I haven't heard back yet. So if you have a concern about that, I mean, the EDA felt that it wouldn't make the deal go one way or another in their mind. It was just that they wanted clarification on what was expected to be built.
Questions? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2019-28, authorizing the execution of sale documents of Lot 2, Block 1, W.H. Cates, First Edition to Sauk Center Multifamily LLC?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Heidi. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Any other comments? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Unfinished business, Safe Routes to School Committee assignment.
So we have several items of unfinished business, just to let you know that the Safe Routes to School Committee assignment, you're aware that we were awarded the Safe Routes to School grant, which means putting together a group between the city, the school, CentraCare, and all the other parties that are involved in that. So we're asking for one city council member volunteer to serve on that committee, on that planning committee. And we did put on the grant application, we put the mayor and all 4 council members on there as people to provide input into the committee, and that one would be selected if we were given the grant. So I don't need to know the name tonight. If you want to think about that and find out what it is that it would all entail, and I can get some more information to you, unless somebody right now has a burning desire and you want to volunteer, I can do it that way too.
I would like to be involved
Okay.
on that.
Okay,
The second item is the airport zoning update. That draft has been sent to MnDOT Aeronautics for review, and once we get the response back from them, we will have a public meeting. The JASB, the JAZB zoning board will meet, and then we'll have a public information meeting after that. And so we are continuing to move forward with that zoning update for the airport. The third item, the Red Schoolhouse Committee, just letting you know that we are meeting with the Fair Board on May 11th. It'll be Dave and Diane and myself, and then we'll be talking about if there's option for location at the fairgrounds. This was the first available date that they had for their committee. The fourth item, if you recall, last year we had couple accidents revolving or close to crosswalks in the city on Highway 71, and we've got some estimates for crosswalk signals. And so now we've got some updated estimates for one signal to be by the post office corner where you cross 71 over to Jitters, and the other one was down by the dam at that crosswalk down there. We'll be presenting that at the next council meeting to see if you guys want to proceed with that. And those are the ones that have the flashing. You push the button and it flashes to stop traffic so that you can cross. And our last item on unfinished business is the city engineer, I guess, to present on the project.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So construction season is off and running once again, 2019. Things are going well so far, just really getting started. So far, the streets have all been reclaimed, so there's a nice gravel driving surface for the residents to drive on. Most of the curb and gutter, sidewalk, the concrete is being removed today. It'll be by the end of the week, that should all be done. Pipe work is scheduled for probably starting Wednesday of next week. Breitbach got delayed a couple days because of rain on another project. So I'll probably be Wednesday for that. Things are going well. We were at the emergency entrance for the hospital. There was a preliminary schedule for kind of the end of June to do the concrete work in through there, such that it was arranged with the trucks, the MRI and those trucks. Looks like there might be an opportunity actually late in July so we're going to probably move that because those trucks go down for maintenance. So we'll probably do it later in July. We'll reschedule that for that time because there won't be any issues at all during that week. So that's really about the only updates that I have thus far. Any questions from you?
Questions? Okay.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you. New business, board openings.
So we do unfortunately have a board opening with the passing of Roy Wells. He served on the Planning Commission and the Public Utility Commission. The Planning Commission is for the balance of 2019, and the Public Utility is for 2 years, I believe, is what it is. And so I guess tonight what we're looking for is just to kind of declare that opening, and we will be advertising for nominations to fill those positions. So, and that's going to be kind of like general consent, I think, just to allow us to go ahead and do that.
Okay, general consent.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Brings us to our consent agenda. Schedule of claims. There is a couple amendments to the bills, so the numbers I'll be reading are different. If you want to, the street department, Ream Kenworth equipment repairs was amended to $4,985.03, and the bill from Summit was removed. So we have a schedule of claims, unpaid claims of $95,043.19, paid claims of $15,196, for a total of $110,239.19. We have a request from the Downtown Bars, Mustang Next Door, American Pub and Eatery and Corner Bar for a temporary extension of premise permit and road closure for a Sinclair Lewis Day street dance on July 20th, 2019. The road closure request is a one-block area from Main Street to Oak Street. Gary Kellerman plans to close the road at 8 a.m. for a car show and street dance and reopen at 3 a.m. following cleanup. The fenced area will be from the Palmer House across to Geierman's and at the intersection of Oak Street. The car show, street dance, road closure permit application will be sent to Jody Tesh at the county after council approval. A request from Eric Kellerman to reserve the east half of the Sinclair Lewis parking lot from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the car show, and also to close Oak Street to City Hall parking lot and use of City Hall parking lot Saturday, July 20th of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Another request from Eric Kellerman from Next Door Bar and Lounge for temporary extension of premise permits for a 10th anniversary party with music on August 3rd, 2019 in the back parking lots. That'd be the Next Door and the food shelf from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. Request from Jeff Quistorf representing the Sauk Center Lions for a road closure for a soapbox derby on Sunday, July 21st, 2019 from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. 3rd Street North from Ash Street to Birch Street. We also have a request from James Felling representing the Oscar Jacobson American Legion 0417 Little Sauk has submitted an application and permit for a 2-day temporary on-sale liquor license at the Stearns County Fairgrounds for June 7th and 8th, 2019 for an event for the Eagles Healing Nest. Fee and certificate of insurance have been provided. Also have gambling application for exempt permit request from Sauk Center Parish Volunteer Team of Catholic United Financial number 26 for a bingo and a raffle on October 8th, 2019 at Holy Family School Cafeteria. And lastly, gambling application for exempt permit request from Sauk Center Parish Volunteer Team of Catholic United Financial number 26 for bingo and raffle on November 22nd, 2019 at Holy Family School Cafeteria. Is there any questions, comments about the consent agenda?
Just to clarify, G, was that November 8th or October 8th?
November 8th is what's wrote here.
Okay, you vocalized October, so
Oh,
I just
did
wanted to correct
Okay,
that.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify also in number D, the temporary extension of premise permit. He's got 3 a.m. on there because the bars close at 2, and then he wanted to be cleaned up and out of there by 3. But the music still has to stop. I think is it
Stops
12,
at
12:30?
12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
Right.
And the other thing with Mr. Athman, Altman, when he was here earlier, talking about the bar situation with the website, and he talked about, we have an extension of premise permit. This is what he was referring to in item B, where they're requesting extension of premise permit and a road closure for the street dance, wondering if there was a way the city could withhold approval or do something in the contents of that approval to try to get the owner to make a modification to his website to get his phone number off it. So this is the item that he was referring to in his meeting, or in his discussion.
Okay. Comments, questions? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Dave, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Any last minute comments or suggestions? Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Informational items?
Just have a couple quick informational items. The Middle Sauk Water Festival is coming up next week. I believe it's in the, what day do I have on there?
14th.
Yeah, May 14th at 9 a.m. at Sinclair Lewis Park. And sometimes some of you have been there during the event. It's when we bring all the 4th graders to town from Albany, Melrose, and different schools, and they talk about water quality issues. The second item of the rental ordinance informational meeting is May 8th at 6 p.m. So that's next Wednesday, a week from tonight. And we did mail out about 170 postcards to total about 700 rental units in town. And I've had a fair amount of people calling, asking for information about it, or letting me know that they no longer rent, or letting me know that, you know, they either are opposed to it or not. So I know the word is getting out there. Plus, we had Nikki posted on Facebook too, and so we're getting some comments there. And then also the Emerald Ash Borer informational meeting for the public is May 9th. So that's next Thursday at 6 p.m. And the Department of Ag or U of M will be here and talk about strategies that homeowners can use to help prevent the spread of emerald ash borer. So that's all I have for informational items.
Okay. And we have a closed session.
We do have a closed session that we're going to go into, so we'll have to quickly recess the public meeting so everybody can leave the room, and then we'll reconvene in closed session.
We will recess this public meeting and okay, we adjourned the closed session. We're bringing the regular public meeting back to order. We met in closed session over a Getty Street construction project appeal We have directed staff with a counter offer, and we will wait for the answer from that. So,
And we expect then to have formal action at the May 15th council meeting.
right. Okay,
All right.
this brings us to our end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Heidi. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.